Well, hey guys, what's up? It's your boy, one and only AI Legends, and yeah, guys, today I am back with the next part of What If Naruto was abandoned by his family and was banished by Konoha, and Konoha finally regrets it. So, yeah, guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed the previous part of this series. If you guys have not seen the part, please check it out in my channel. So, yeah, guys, and I hope that you guys enjoy this part of this series. But before starting this video, I would like to make a request to all of you guys who are watching this video. If you guys are new to this channel or if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so. I'm quite near to 10k and hopefully I will be able to reach it as soon as possible. So yeah guys, if you guys are new to this channel or if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so, and please you can say follow me on Instagram. So yeah guys, without wasting any more of your time, let us start the video. Last time we left off as we saw that how Minato along with Kushina and Menma and Naruko finally came back to the village, as which came to a shock to both Jiraiya as well as Tsunade, because they were more than sure that both Minato and Kushina died against Nine Tails and Naruto was their only child. Imagine their surprise when both Minato and Kushina explained the story that how they were simply hiding in the shadows so that they can train the true Jinchurikis of both Menma and Naruto, who have both of the half of the Nine Tails chakra, while only Naruto has the body and the soul of the Nine Tails. Well, the thing they consider soul, but whatever. As Jiraiya as well as Tsunade were pretty angry as they asked them why they did not took Naruto with them, as both Minato and Kushina explained that how they wanted to show to other villages that how they still have their Jinchuriki, and Naruto did not had any chakra, so he was literally worthless in their eyes and not worthy of their training, which angered both Jiraiya as well as Tsunade, as Jiraiya could not believe it. Minato was his student, his prized student, as he never thought that Minato would turn out like this after becoming Hokage, as he was pretty angry, as Minato explained to him that how he think that both Menma and Naruto are going to be the true child of the destiny, that how the premonition which the old toad has visioned, as Jiraiya was pretty angry about it when Minato explained that how he has a law according to which Minato is once again Hokage, as Tsunade was more than happy to give the title back because she did not care, while on the other hand Naruto has activated the scroll of Arashi Uzumaki, as Arashi has explained the whole situation to Naruto who he was. Actually, he was the uncle to Naruto, as how Kushina was a traitor to the Uzumaki clan who sold out the secrets of the Uzumaki clan and their security and all about the other secrets, as she took all the, you can say, things into Konoha, as she was the one who poisoned Arashi, as he was not able to use his powers greatly in the Second Great Ninja War, and how she was the main reason why the Uzumaki clan was killed off, which angered Naruto pretty much. And Arashi made Naruto remember when he was just a child about the whole situation, that how his parents simply said on his little face that how he was worthless and both Menma and Naruto are only important in their life, as they simply took them for the training, which angered Naruto pretty much. But back in his mind, as he was wondering if he did not had the chakra, then what did he use against Sasuke, which confuses Naruto a little bit. But still, he put that back of his mind, as Arashi explained that how Naruto was able to come here because Naruto has the same Kekkei Genkai, the dark release, and it seemed that Naruto has some seals over his body, stopping his Kekkei Genkai from emerging. As that was the last part, hope you guys enjoyed. And now let us start the true part from here on. So yeah guys, as Naruto simply looked towards Arashi as he said, "Well, Arashi sensei, I'm ready for training." As Arashi simply nodded at that. "Well, first thing first, Naruto, come here." As Naruto simply nodded at that, as Arashi put a single finger on the head of Naruto, as Naruto's body started to glow a little, and then a ceiling ray started to appear all over Naruto's body, as Arashi frowned a little, but he simply shook his head as he said, "So Minato, you're able to break some of the seals after all, huh? Well, it doesn't matter. I know for a fact the thing you want, you are still unable to reach it." As he simply looked towards Naruto as he said, well, this is interesting. It seemed that they were able to use one of the strong seals. It seemed that he was just worried that how if you are able to inherit some of his genius or something like it, you would become stronger than you were, or rather he wanted you to be. So he put seals on you. Well, you already had pretty much chakra, but it seemed that 50% of your chakra is still being held back. Well, good thing you have chakra, but Your chakra control is going to be once again, not even to be considered there. As Naruto frowned at that, as Orochi said, alright, I'm going to break it. So, gather yourself. But before Naruto could say anything, as Oroshi's hand started to glow, as five fingers started to glow, as he put it on the you can say chest of Naruto, and then suddenly the pain started to emerge all over Naruto's body. The chakra pole, which were holding back a lot of chakra for years, which was growing inside of it, as well as the Kekkei Genkai, which was being held back for years, has you can say suddenly emerges as pure pain started to rush towards Naruto's body, while inside of the seal Kurama simply frowned at that as he said, damn it, brat. It seems that your own chakra is trying to overwhelm you, stupid brat. As I started to release bit of his chakra and started to heal his chakra pathway, which are not used to so much great amount of chakra. It seemed that Minato as well as Kushina already planned it as if Naruto ever to be able to break the seal, his chakra pathway will not be able to you can say suffice to a lot amount of chakra and his chakra network simply be destroyed. Well, genius of a plan, but they did not consider that Ninetales still have his chakra, which never even crossed their mind. But soon enough, you guys will know about it. As Naruto's body started to heal a little, as Orochi simply nodded at that, as a smirk. So my theory was right after all. For all of your genius, Minato and Kushina, you were just, in the end of the day, both of you were just fools. As he simply smirked at that, he knew that a Biju simply cannot, you can say, be without his chakra. Without his chakra, even the so-called soul of the Ninetales would have been never be able to, you can say, simply reside. And he was not as much of a fool to think that he can simply strip away all the chakra from a Biju and he will never get it back. As he simply scoffed at that thought, it was simply a thought of an arrogant person who thought that he has enough power to do anything, to even to one of the mightiest beasts there was, the nine-tailed fox. As Arashi simply looked towards Naruto, who was simply panting, as Naruto simply looked towards his hand, this power, as he was already glowing with blue chakra. As a matter of fact, it was, you can say, making a small aura around him, aura of power, blue chakra everywhere in his body. As Arashi simply looked towards Naruto as he said, alright Naruto, your training begins now. Give me 1000 shadow clones. As Naruto simply looked towards him for some time as he simply nodded at that as he made 1000 shadow clones, and then suddenly you can say in a place out of nowhere a forest appeared as Naruto simply frowned at that. It was not there before. How did it came to here? As Arashi simply looked towards him. You might be wondering where did it came from? Well, at this moment, don't think about it. But soon enough, you will know. As Naruto simply nodded at that as he said, alright. As he simply looked towards the clones and said, alright, you guys leave to do your tree walking exercise. As all of them simply looked towards him and they simply nodded at that and simply went off as Orochi sent some of his own clones towards it as he said, alright, let us begin with a bit of training. As he simply started to, you can say, crack his knuckles as Naruto simply gulped at that, and then it became the torture, training of Uzumaki Naruto. Now let us cut back to Minato as Minato was looking towards a big scroll as he simply frowned at that. Once again, he tried another seal to break this damn seal, which was on these some of the parts of the scroll. Well, while some of the parts he was able to break and learned a lot of jutsus or rather sealing knowledge from it. As a matter of fact, it was because of the sealing knowledge he gained from it. He was able to make his flying Raijin technique even more greater than that of Nidaime Hokage. Thanks to these sealings, it seemed that the Uzumakis were already working on it, and the previous records of Mito Uzumaki, who was the one who helped Tobirama Senju to create the technique in the first place, as if thrown as once again the main part of the seal where the higher level of the power resides, the secrets of the Uzumaki clan as well as the secrets of the dark release, which he was hoping desperately that one of his children, both Menma and Naruko, would be able to inherit some way. After all, Kushina was the sister of the Black Dragon of Uzushio, but alas, none of them had that Kekkei Genkai, which angered Minato pretty much, and he did not even thought about Naruto. After all, he was worthless. So, he simply, you can say, look towards the seal. Soon enough, Arashi, not even the seal will be able to hold back. This time seal soon be broken, and I shall have the knowledge, the power which I want. As a simply smirk, as an evil smirk came to the face of Minato, he was trained specifically all of this year, even under the tutelage of Jiraiya, as he was, you can say, pretty close to Tadokage, who, you can say, planned everything from the very beginning. Well, in reality, Tadokage wanted all of that power for himself, but after seeing that, the seal that were there, and he simply cannot ask Jiraiya to do it. And even if Jiraiya had all the knowledge, it was still, you can say, not completed. He knew that even with Jiraiya's skill, he was not able to do so. But then he saw a bubbling prodigy in Minato, and he saw his successor. Even if Orochimaru had interest in sealing, Orochimaru was never the type to be to his liking, as Orochimaru would never share his powers with anyone, even with Hiruzen. So he simply came up with another strategy, a budding prodigy. Soon enough, Minato, as well as his interest in the whole ceiling array, as Kushina's interest in it after all, and so he planned everything, putting Minato on his side, as well as making him, you can say, all the things planned out, and how the Uzushio will destroy, and then you can say the simple. As for Hiruzen, for the very first day, when he saw a 5-year-old in the orphanage by the name of Minato Namikaze, who wanted to become a shinobi, as well as his talent, his interest in the sealing, as that was the day Hiruzen, along with Donzo and the elders, started to make their plan, started to manipulate Minato to be on their cause, as they literally raised Minato to be one their puppet, or rather their Hokage, so that they can use him. And he came to academy, and then it started the next plan of the jealous heiress of the Uzumaki clan, named by the Kushina Uzumaki, as she came to Konoha in a small, you can say, the whole program which Third Hokage started as a goodwill for, you can say, both of the villages and exchanging students, and then simply you can say it was not much, as in the end of the day they were finally able to pull off their plan, how Kushina was finally able to poison their biggest threat that was there. And finally, with all the, you can say, greed she already possessed, it was not difficult for the elders as well as Hiruzen to do their bidding, but they did not expect it. It was just like a scroll of sealing. All the knowledge of the Uzushio was sealed inside of it. But it seemed that in the end of the time, when Kushina was ready to take it away, as Orochi was able to change some things in it, putting some time seal on it of some type, even when he was poisoned. But in the end of the day, they still have the knowledge, as Hiruzen was pretty angry that he will not have all of that power. But no matter, Konoha will still be the strongest, even if Minato will become Hokage, it will be on their choices, on their mindset, so that you can say simply Konoha could become the strongest village there is. After all, this was the master plan to begin with, as Minato simply closes his eyes and put the scroll away once again, sealing it on himself, not wanted it to be anywhere. But at some point, he has to leave the scroll in a safe place in Konoha. He simply cannot take it everywhere with himself, even he knows it. As he simply shook his head, now for the training, Jiraiya sensei, as he simply smirked at that. After all, if the prophecy, or rather the premonition, has to come true, Jiraiya has to train his children, even though he is getting a bit stubborn. He knows that with the authority of a Hokage, he can simply, you can say, put it on it. Now let us have a small time skip. After 1 year of training, in this time, Arashi was simply training with Naruto in his taijutsu, as well as his chakra control. His fuinjutsu was already progressing a lot quicker than which Arashi expected, but still, it was to be expected. He was an Uzumaki through and through, even if he has the blood of that person, of Minato, but he simply shook his head. From the very first day when Arashi saw Minato with his sister, when he was came to Konoha to meet his dear sister, well, in the past, as it was like both of them liked each other, but from the very first day, he lay eyes on Minato. He could easily see something dark, as a person who was manipulated, cunning, and everything, as if and arrogant above everything. Which you can say, as Arashi was not so happy about, as Kushina was liking this kid. He could easily see past the gentle smile and everything of an evil person that he was, but he tried to ignore it. After all, they were not even Ganins, and he simply cannot put it away. And Kushina seems to like that kid, though Arashi tried to, you can say, put it away and putting it back of his mind. But alas, he should have killed that kid that day, right there and then. And how he was able to manipulate even his sister, Though his sister was no, you can say, no angel whatsoever. She already had that malice inside of her. Her jealousy, her, you can say, greed was always there. Arashi knew it, as well as the clan knew it. Even their father knew it. As Arashi, to be honest, never wanted to be the heir or wanted to take up the whole offer of being the clan head. He would have given it to Kushina eventually, but still, as after all, he was a soldier, he was not a leader, but still, as he simply shook his head. He has lost so much to think about it. At this point, he can only do one thing, and that is to train this kid, this relative of his. After all, he's his uncle. As he simply shook his head, alright, Naruto, come here. As Naruto simply arrived, he has already grown up 1 year. As he simply looked towards him, well, Arashi sensei, what I can do? Again, as he simply looked towards Naruto, as he said, well, Naruto, tell me about what level of gravity seals you are using. As Naruto simply looked towards him, well, I'm using Gravity Seal 5 at this point, and Sorashi simply nodded at that as they said, alright, it's about time that we shall begin about your Genkai. As a huge smile came to Naruto's face, he was waiting for this all of this time. He was asking Arashi to teach him about his Genkai, but he was unable to do it. After all, Arashi wanted him to be a bit strong physically. He was strong, don't get him wrong, but still, Orochi wanted him to be even stronger. He does not want Naruto to make the same mistake as he did when he activated his Genkai. God knows it. It hurt like hell. As he simply looked towards Naruto as he said, alright, release all of your gravity seals. As Naruto simply nodded at that, as he said, now dispel all of your clones. As Naruto simply nodded at that, as you can say, the memories once again rushed back at him. As Orochi simply looked towards Naruto as he said, well, Naruto, this Kekkei about the dark relays is not like any other Kekkei you will see. The Sharingan activates when there is a threat of life and death. The Byakugan activate with a, you can say, about several conditions of high level training, and same with other Kekkei different conditions are always there. While on the other hand, a dark release, you may think that it activates because of malice or anything like it with its name, while in actuality it is not like that. As Naruto simply looked towards him with raising an eyebrow, he always thought that dark release was some evil Kekkei, a powerful one, but still, by the name of it, a evil nonetheless. While his sensei was saying that how it does not work like it, as he simply looked towards him, wondering what he's actually going to say. As Naruto simply looked towards Arashi, what do you mean by that? As Arashi simply looked towards Naruto as he said, well, simply put it, Naruto, to activate Dark Release, you have to literally accept everything that happens in your life, from the very bad thing to a good one. You know, in your life there will always be things you simply cannot accept. You will always hate it, but you always want revenge on the things which always happen bad in your life. To activate the dark release, you have to do one thing and one thing alone. You have to accept it as the reality as it is. As Naruto's eyes widened for a moment, but then anger started to flash in his eyes. What do you mean by that? You want me to accept it that how Konoha treated me like trash? You want me to accept it how my parents thought that I was worthless and not even worth their attention or their love? And you want me to forgive all of them? You want me to forgive Konoha for betraying our clan and everything just because, just so I can get some power? I do not need such power if this is the cost of everything. As he simply looked towards Arashi with pure anger in his eyes. As Arashi simply had, you can say, calm demeanor in his, you can say, eyes as well as in his face. As he simply looked towards Naruto as he said, well, while the things you have said, Naruto, those are partially correct. It seemed that you did not understand my statement, as Naruto was still pretty angry and glaring towards, you can say, Arashi. How dare he to suggest that he forgive all of those people for all the wrongdoings they have done to him? To hell with the Genkai, he doesn't need it. If this is the cause of it, of betraying everything he actually is. As Arashi simply looked towards Naruto, as I said, you did not understand my statement. I said it that you have to accept it, not forgive. You just have to accept things as they are. You does not need to forgive it. or forget it. As Naruto, you can say, was still pretty confused about it. In this time, Arashi was making him, you can say, read a lot of books and putting a seal on Naruto's head easily so that all the memories simply filter away. So if even Naruto used 5000 shadow clones at the same time, his mind will not be damaged or anything like it. He will get memories when he will be sleeping, and QB was more than happy to, you can say, simply assist. After all, he wants to see this legendary Dark Genkai of Dark Release. After all, he has heard so many things about it in his past, but he never came to, you can say, Uzushio Gakure because it was surrounded by oceans. So, just like cats, even Kurama does not like water, as many thought that his weakness would be fire, but alas, he always hated water. Not like to have a bath. While that is beside the point, as so he was also helping as well as, you can say, simply healing Naruto's brain so that he can simply accept all the knowledge that there is. As Naruto simply, you can say, calm down after it. As Naruto simply looked towards Arashi as he said, so you want me to accept everything? As Arashi simply looked towards him, yes, I want you to accept everything. That how villages will always consider you a demon. You have to accept it. That how your parents were evil beings, and even now I can simply see it in your eyes. You want answers. You simply cannot accept it. That how the people who simply gave you birth were considering you worthless. In the back of your mind, you always thought that these were some foolish memories, or I always tried to trick you, or something like it. Isn't that right? As a ashamed look passes through the, you can say, the eyes of Naruto, he simply can tell it. These were not lies, but there was something in his mind telling him that it could be a lie, it could be a genjutsu, it could be some seal to manipulate him, it could be anything. That how his parents are already dead. It is something as, but it was always there. As Naruto simply looked towards him. So, you want me to accept it, everything, huh? As Arashi simply looked towards him. Yes, I want you to do so, but I can already tell that how it is pretty possible that without even seeing that how you even have some siblings or some parents, you will not accept it. In always in your mind there will always be a doubt. After all, you did not see it, you would always consider it a genjutsu or anything like it, huh? Right? As Naruto simply looked towards him, so what do you want me to do, huh? I simply cannot confirm it, as I can hate the village, I know it. I can even accept it that if I'm the son of the Yondaime Hokage, but I simply cannot, as I simply looked towards Arashi and trailed off. As Arashi simply nodded at that, but of course, I can understand it, Naruto, but there is one way, without even leaving this place, you can confirm everything which I actually said. As Naruto simply looked towards him pretty surprised, as he said, what do you mean by that? As he said, well, it is pretty simple. The Nine Tails can confirm everything. But I know that you will always think that the Nine Tails is trying to trick you. Just ask me what happened to just ask him what happened to his chakra, or rather previous chakra which he contained, and he can easily make a link to his chakra. It will not be for long, but for a momentary link about your other siblings, and through it you can easily see their life, and you can easily see if your parents are alive or not. I know that this is a separate dimension, so which is the main reason you simply cannot leave it to check it for yourself in Konoha. As Naruto thought it for some time, he knows it. He trusts his sensei after all of this time. But in the back of his mind, there will always be a doubt. And if he really wants to activate his Genkai, but so be it. He will accept everything. But as for now, he wants to know one thing, if it is true to begin with. As he simply nodded at that, as he simply closes his eyes, making a meditative pose, and finally he arrived in his mindscape, as a growl could be heard as Naruto simply decided to follow the large gates that were there, as red slitted eyes finally opened, as Kurama started to chuckle as he said, well, foolish human, huh, finally came here to seek answers. I was hoping for that after all. I can easily tell your doubt, your restlessness. As Kurama started to chuckle, as Naruto simply looked towards him. So you're the Nine Tails, huh? Well, been a while. As Kurama simply chuckled at that. Well, what do you want from me, brat? As Naruto simply looked towards him. I want answers. What happened to your previous chakra? According to Sensei, It seems that you have been able to regain that chakra somehow. As Kurama simply chuckled at that, your parents may have been strongest shinobi of their village, but they were arrogant, just like other human beings. They really thought that they can strip me of all of my power. As Kurama scoffed at that, as Naruto simply looked towards him, as he said, "So, what will happen? And can you confirm it all?" As Naruto was a bit hesitant in his approach, as Kurama started to chuckle as he said, still reluctant about it, still hoping that it could be a big lie, or some genjutsu, or your sensei must have been mistaken, or someone must have implanted that genjutsu on you. Well, I can easily tell what is going on the other side of my chakra. Well, you may call it my previous chakra, but that chakra still belongs to me, the mightiest of the Bijus. As Naruto said, yeah, I know it. You're the great Nine Tails and all that. Just tell me about and or rather show me if you can. As Kurama simply chuckled as he said, human. Well, be grateful. I also want to see this power of dark release. Otherwise, I would have never even considered doing this for you, weakling. As Naruto simply scoffed at that as Kurama simply chuckled as red chakra started to leak from his body and then started, you can say, surround Naruto as Naruto narrowed his eyes towards Kurama as he said, "Well, in order for you to see, you have to be connected to my chakra, human." As Naruto simply nodded at that as then Naruto finally closes his eyes and now he could see as he was in a gate in front of him. It was just like a big gate of just like it was Kurama's or the Ninetales gate, but a bit different. Rather than in a sewer, it was, you can say, different mindscape. He could easily tell as he simply looked back inside of the gates to see gigantic orange chakra everywhere. It was still destructive chakra, as Naruto could easily tell. As then a bit of chakra started to leak from it, as Naruto could tell that how it was, you can say, being absorbed by his Jinchuriki, which means one of his siblings. As Naruto put a hand into that chakra, it was still destructive, but he could easily see the outside world. It was connected to his brother Menma, as Menma was crying on the chakra, as two tails were behind him. As he simply looked to from the eyes of Menma, he could see Jiraiya that was there along with one of his, you can say, sister. As he looked around to see both of his, you can say, parents that were there, as Minato as well as Kushina was simply looking towards the training which Jiraiya was giving to both Menma and Naruto. While Jiraiya, you can say, still hated Minato and Kushina for what they did, he still hopes that he could save Menma and Naruto. Who knows, one of them could actually be the child of the premonition, but still, he still knows that, or rather hope for Naruto to be well and good, and hope for him to be the child of the premonition, but deep down, he also do not want to accept it, because if it is true that Naruto is a child of premonition, then it will be the child of destruction, not a savior. While on the other hand, if either Menma and Naruto are one of the child of the destiny, then he has to save them from the darkness from which Minato has put them in. As Naruto could see both Minato and Kushina, you can say, hearing both of them were speaking as Kushina simply looked towards them. "Minato, I'm so proud of both Menma and Naruto. They are becoming so strong, and soon in the future, they will become one of the strongest shinobi." As Minato smirked, I have already promoted both Menma and Naruto to be Chunis, and soon enough, they will become Jonis. They can easily control 2 to 3 tailed, 9 tailed chakra worth, and soon enough they will have all the power thanks to the help of Jiraiya sensei. As Kushina simply chuckled, well, in the beginning he did not want to train both Menma and Naruto, as she simply scoffed, as she said, well, he actually thought that worthless kid, what about his name again? Naruto. As she simply scoffed at that, was actually the child of the destiny. Can't he see that how Menma and Naruto are the only one? He was simply worthless. He did not even have the chakra. And his original chakra was not even that impressive compared to Menma and Naruto. As Minato agreed with it. He's still running. I have told Jiraiya Sensei to track him down, but it seemed that he did not want to do it. Don't worry, I've already sent several Ambu Black Ops to find him. He's our weapon, and he will never escape its grasp. As Kushina simply smirked at that, but of course, Soon enough, we will be able to find it. What happened to Danzo, Minato? As he said, well, I could easily get rid of him, but at this point, it is fun playing with him. Well, soon enough, when we will find Naruto. We will get rid of Danzo and his root will be under our command since he is our son, as he put the son like sarcastically. As Kushina simply chuckled, he will be put in charge of the root where I will train along with my Ambo personally to be our personal weapon and for the protection of both Menma and Naruto. He will be in charge of the root just like them, but a bit of, you can say, mentality still intact, but still being our weapon, we will use him so that he can command the root for the good of Konoha. As Kushina simply nodded at that, it was the master plan of Minato. He would have got rid of Danzo eventually and putting Naruto into the root commander. Then he would have helped both Menma and Naruto to reach their destiny, and then they will have all the knowledge of the Uzumaki clan, and soon enough, with their weapon training their other members, they would have conquered the other elemental nations soon enough. As Minato smirked, soon enough, Naruto, I will have you back as a weapon which you were destined to be. As Kushina simply agreed with it, while on the other hand, Naruto snapped back out of it as Manma started to lose a bit of control as Naruto simply gritted his teeth as they simply, you can say, faded away, appearing once again in front of the QB who started to chuckle as he said, happy meeting a family, huh? Uzumaki, as Naruto simply glared towards, you can say, Nine Tails and started to walk away. As Kurama started to speak, as he said, accept the reality as soon as possible. I'm waiting for that power to be awakened once again. After all, I just want to see how great it actually could be. As he started to chuckle, while on the other hand, Naruto has his, you can say, hair covering his face as Naruto snapped his eyes open as Arashi was still looking towards him. As Naruto gritted his teeth as he simply looked towards him, as Arashi said, so I think that you have already seen it, huh? As Naruto simply nodded at that, as Arashi simply sighed. So, I have already told you what you can do to activate this power. You just have to accept it, do not forgive, or anything like it. It is up to you if you really want to forgive it, or what you will do in your life. But to activate this power, you have to accept the things, accept the world, accept the darkness as it is. As Naruto simply nodded at that and simply started to walk away. Now, let us have another time skip. In this time, Naruto was finally able to activate his dark release, which even you can say surprises Arashi. When he activated that power, it was destructive. He remembered it, but it was not this destructive. Flashback for Arashi, as Naruto was simply you can say looking towards him, as an aura started to leak from the body of Naruto, as Arashi took it as a signal for you can say the dark release to be activated. Even you can say QB was on his edge, wanted to see what kind of power this actually is, as Naruto was going through in his mind. Thanks to a special seal which Arashi put it on his head, he is confronting everything, his inner darkness, his inner demons, as you can put it, about his whole life being treated as trash. His friends finally, you can say, putting their back on him and saying that oh he was just a demon and nothing more than that, the council banishing him, his parents or his so-called family making plans to make him a weapon and his you can say emotions and mentality so that they can use him as a member of a root or something like it. As he gritted his teeth, he accept he could easily see how his parents simply you can say disown him or things like it, as well as his mother turning her back on the Uzumaki clan, the family he always, you can say, wished to have. As then the anger started to fade, but then a calm demeanor passes through the mind of Naruto, as you can say, dark Naruto was simply looking towards him, as he finally grabbed him and giving a hug to the you can say just like yummy Naruto you have seen in the original canon, as he simply looked towards him as he said, I know it and I accept it. As the dark Naruto simply started to chuckle, so be it. As both of them gave each other a hug, and both of them started to, you can say, glow with dark and white energy at the same time. While outside, a dark burst of aura started to surround Naruto, making a large explosion into the ceiling array which Arashi put up. As even Arashi was simply sent flying. While on the other hand, QB's eyes widen. This amount of chakra, this amount of malice, he has never seen it before. As Arashi's eyes widen, this is not possible. Damn it! It should not happen like this. As the darkness started to take a shade around all around Naruto, as it was a shape of, you can say, a dragon, of, you can say, several tales which were behind Naruto. As Orochi could not believe it, he became a sage for the dark release itself, and he was not able to gain this amount of power, just how much darkness there is. But then it clicked into the mind of Orochi. Naruto, maybe you can say a little boy who has suffered this much, but he forgot to mention or forgot to take in one thing in equation, that was the nine tails itself. Nine tails was sealed into, not in the body of Naruto, like some tattoo if you remove the skin or the nine tails removed. No, it was, you can say, sealed into the soul of Naruto, which means that if the QB has also accepted it, then his darkness will also be added into the power of the dark release as well. And that was one of the days even this sealing away of the consciousness of Orochi was scared of, truly scared. And it was, you can say, the last time he was this scared was for his home, when the armies of the four villages were, you can say, entering his small village, and how his comrades were able to push the small boat in which he was in, as well as some of the members away. As last thing he saw the burning of the Uzushio Gakure, he was scared that day, and this was the day once again he was that scared in all of his life, as Orochi simply blinked at it. In this time, 3 years has passed for the training of Naruto, while outside there are only, you can say, 2.5 years has passed. This time 3 years has passed, as Naruto was simply has finally grown up. He has also been able to activate his dark release at his will, and it was truly to be strong. And now let us go to the abilities of the dark release, which I have decided to give it. Well, as long as a person has a darkness in his heart, which Naruto is fighting. For example, if Naruto is fighting Madara Uchiha, then trust me when I say it, Madara will not be able to lay a single finger on Naruto, because as strong your darkness is, the stronger you will get. In the case of Naruto, and if he's fighting a army, then their chakra level will simply add up to Naruto, and he can even control a person. If he has a darkness in his eyes, you can say in his heart, the only person who is remotely a challenge to a normal user of a dark release are the users of, you can say, are those people who are pure of heart, which is usually civilians or children's of, you can say, the age of 4 or 5. Pretty rare in the world of ninjas, of shinobis, as Naruto was simply has closed his eyes, and 1000 shadow clones were all around him, as Naruto simply chuckled. And then at this point, Naruto is training one of the aspects of the, you can say, dark release, as a aura started to surround Naruto, as all one of the shadow 1000 shadow clones rushed towards Naruto, and then Naruto vanished in a black flash, as you can say, from the darkness to darkness, or rather to shadows, as Naruto could easily travel in the shadows as well within a blink of an eye, as they were 1000 poof away. As Arashi, who was watching this, simply smirked at that. Take that, Minato, and your flying Raijin, as he simply scoffed at the name. After all, he was the one who was researching on the teleportation technique so that he can help his friends of the Nidaime Hokage. But alas, all of his work was stolen because of his stupid, spoiled sister, as he gritted his teeth on that. Whenever he remembered about Kushina or Minato, he became pretty angry, while on the other hand, he always feels alive even though he's dead pretty much. When he always is training Naruto. At this point, Naruto ended a battle even before it started, and all of these 1000 shadow clones were made with different personalities and different tactics of mind. It was always because of whenever Naruto exceeded the limit of 500 shadow clones, their memories or their mindsets also started to change after 500 limits of shadow clone. While as Naruto can easily travel from shadows to shadows, as well as if a person has, you can say, darkness in his heart, he can put doubt there for their comrades, for their own abilities. He can also make them scared of the things which they are not scared of. For example, if a person is pretty strong, But Naruto's own darkness is greater than the person who has darkness in his heart. That Naruto can easily make him scared of water, fire, of going into battle. He can make them scared of their own kunai or even of their own friends, which is also known. It was one of the reasons it was known as the Dark Release. Now, let us cut back to Naruto. As Orochi simply started to clap, it seemed that you mastered one of the abilities of the Dark Release, which can even put the yellow flash to the shame of this speed ability as not to simply scoff at it. As he said, well, Arashi sensei, at this point I have a deal to make with the Nine Tails, so I will see you soon. As Arashi simply smirked at it, he was waiting for this opportunity. It was a plan of both he as well as you can say Naruto came up with several theories and all of it, so they can finally convince the QB for their cause. As Naruto simply closes his eyes as he appeared in a mindscape as Kurama was in there as he started to chuckle. So brat, do why are you here? Are you finally here to control my power? As Naruto simply started to chuckle. Well, you're partially true, QB. As QB started to chuckle, but I do wonder, having all of that power under your command, even my own darkness started to melt with your own. Well, I didn't expect it that, but then again, I'm sealed inside of your soul. So, that is to say something. As Naruto simply started to chuckle as he said, well, QB, I wanted to ask you some questions, and trust me, if you are to answer it, it is to your own benefit. Now that got the interest of the QB, as QB simply looked towards him. And well, that might be interesting. As Naruto simply looked towards him, well, we were doing a bit of research about the purpose of the Akatsuki to capture all of the bijus, and we have come up with some theories as well as some of the history, and trust me, it was really pain. As QB simply chuckled, and do tell me what is the purpose of the Akatsuki to the even though Kurama has his own theories, but it is not possible. After all, the Rinnegan was not in this world anymore. So he simply looked towards Naruto as he said, well, we have came up with different theories, but one of it is that Akatsuki just wants all the, you can say, bijus under their control so that they can attack with all of their 9 bijus or but this theory has so many flaws because there were so many people in the shinobi world who are strong enough. If they are able to seal even 2 or 3, they can easily retreat back to their some other villages. There will always be rebellion. And it is pretty clear that the Akatsuki wants to control the world. So we came up with a different, you can say, theory. And we came up with a new theory, about some research about something, I don't know, remember as the Jubi. As this, you can say, QB's eyes widened for a moment, but then it narrowed, as Naruto simply smirked at it, and both me and Sensei have come up with a new conclusion that this one is most, you can say, understandable as well as the one which makes most of the logic. It seems that Akatsuki wants to revive the Jubi, as Kurama simply scoffed at that. The Jubi. Do you honestly believe that the Akatsuki has the means to revive that beast? As it was one of the times as Naruto enjoyed it, as it was something with all the Bijus agreed. Even though the people of this, you can say, human race may consider them beasts and monsters, they know they have seen the true beast and a monster. That was the 10 tails, none of them compared to it. As Naruto simply looked towards him as he said, but we honestly believe it is to be possible when Madara Uchiha himself is you can say involved in the thing, as QB was about to argue about the things that how it is not possible without the Rinnegan or about the Gedumazu, but now it does make sense a little bit. Madara Uchiha was a, you can say, the descendant of the Uchiha clan, though not many people may know it. All the Bijus themselves know that how, you can say, the Uchiha clan is a descendant of the Sage of Six Paths. As QBs, you can say stop for a moment to think he knows it. That how you can say the Uchiha clan is a descendant of Hagoromo, their father. So even though it is so unlikely to think that how Madara could have the Rinnegan, if Madara is actually there, then it is truly possible that he tries to activate, you can say, or to reawaken the Jubi for a moment, as even the QB was shivered for a moment about that monster, as He simply shook his head as he simply looked towards Naruto. And what do you want me to do, huh? And now he was a bit angry that this kid was trying to blackmail him so that he can allow him to use his power. As Naruto simply looked towards him for a moment and smirked. Well, my offer is pretty simple, QB. You help me with your power, and I will protect you from Akatsuki, who is trying to make you a part of the Jubi once again. As Scooby simply snort at that, and what will I get out of it? Just because I am sealed inside of you doesn't mean that I am simply, you can say, bound to you. I hope that you simply die in some battle and then I will be released. Even though Kurama knows it at this point, he knows the progress of Naruto and how unlikely it is to be. And he was pretty angry about it, as even after becoming this strong, even though QB himself is partially a part of his power, after all, the darkness of the QB is also empowering Naruto's own darkness. As Naruto simply smirked at it, as he said, and I will allow you one thing, Kurama, or QB, I will allow you to have the 10th tail. At this, QB, you can say stop at his rant as his eyes widened for a moment and then it narrowed as he simply looked towards Naruto. What do you mean by that? The 10th tail. As Naruto simply smirked at that. I am giving you a chance, an opportunity for a, you can say it, promotion from QB to the Jubi. As now, Kurama was simply looking towards Naruto with a bit of interest as he simply said, and how will that be possible? As Naruto simply smirked at it as he said, well, I heard that you are made up of half of the tenth chakra, is it true? As Kurama simply looked towards him, well, I would like to think that it is even more than that of half of the Juvi's chakra. After all, I can take on all of my siblings at the same time and I can still win against them. As Naruto simply smirked, and then it will be even better, Kyubi. While on the other hand, Kurama was trying to come up with some ideas that how it is possible for him to have ten tail. None of the Bijus ever thought for a, as Naruto put it, a promotion in their tails. As Kyubi simply looked towards Naruto and would you like to tell me, human, how are you even trying to make up of an idea to give me more power to have ten tail? As Naruto simply smirked, well, it is pretty easy, QB. You have underestimated yourself. As QB was now looking towards Naruto with a bit of interest, as he said, well, it is pretty simple. After my so called parents extracted all of your chakra, they thought that you will never have that chakra. That is where they were wrong. They only were able to give you chakra exhaustion, and now, once again, you have full power of your under your command, which means that you're half of the Jubi, or even more than that of a half, thanks to your own telling. And now just think about what will happen to other chakra, which is sealed away inside of my sibling. At this Kyuubi's eyes widen in realization, which Naruto was trying to, you can say, tell to him. As Naruto simply smirked at it. It seemed that you have finally realized that, huh, Kyuubi? When if that chakra shall return back to you with all of your chakras still intact to your body, you will have, you can say, another half of the Jubi's chakra waiting for you to to absorb and once again become even stronger than that. As QB started to chuckle at that as he said, well, human, it is pretty interesting concept. Well, if both of the Bijus were to die, that chakra up there will simply release into the nature and will not come back to me. Rather, it will become poisonous in the air until it is to be sealed away somewhere else. But if you are to be able to absorb all of that chakra inside of this seal, I can easily devour that chakra and after all, it belongs to me and it does not have any conscious mind of its own. My power will increase. I will become the Jubi itself. At this, Kurama started to chuckle and started to roar in, you can say, laughter. At that, Naruto simply smirked at it as he said, and you do realize that in this plan of ours, you do need me. After all, if that chakra is to be just released, just like it, or to be captured by the Akatsuki, then you will not have that chakra back and you will remain QB. As Kurama simply looked towards Naruto. Alright, human, I will accept this offer of yours. You will have my power under your command. And soon enough. I'm ready for that promotion of yours, and I'll be waiting for it. And trust me when I say it, as a bijou, I'm not a human. I do not lie. I gave you my word. If you give me a promise that after your deathbed, I will be released back into the nature of this earth, I will help you to your last breath. As not to simply smirk at it. Let me sweeten the deal if you want me to do it. I will, you can say, simply send you as well as your siblings into another dimension far away from the humans with your own needs of the environment. And I will seal away that dimension. The humans will never try to capture you or try to do anything. As Kurama snarled at it as if they can capture him. Well, when he was a QB, it was made possible, but if he became a Jubi, then there is a bit of doubt, but he does not want to take risk. After all, his father was able to entrap the Jubi inside of him. He does not want another human to, you can say, or try to come up with some ideas. As I simply smirk at that, you have a deal for yourself, human. As this, you can say simply put his hand outside of the, you can say, bars. As Naruto simply bump fist with Kyuubi. As Kyuubi started to speak, call me Kurama. As Naruto simply smirk. Kurama. And you can say, alright guys, here we'll left this part. Hope you guys enjoy the part, and if you guys are new and have not subscribed yet, please guys do so. It will really help me a lot. So yeah guys, hope you guys enjoy the part, and yeah guys, peace and subscribe. So yeah, peace.